Greetings, geeks. We're back. It's episode 848 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda, and I am joined today. You'd be shocked to believe, Chris DeBona.
Hi.
Rob Roseboom.
Hello.
While we were gone, everybody had to land their space stations, refuel, get some supplies.
Yeah, it's like the annual dry dock and refit.
Yeah. But Rob, you unfortunately got yours from Boeing.
Yeah, I'm still
he's
stuck
in
here.
space the whole time.
I'm here in the extra room. Of
It
all
looks
the
like
doodads.
Boeing's been using IKEA for its fittings.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But,
All right.
there's some old dentist shelving here.
Yeah.
Some Bed Bath
That
Beyond.
they got from the U of M store, to save a little money.
Sure. Yeah.
It looks like you still got your poster back there from the free posters we got from Despair back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know that we've ever actually said that story on a recording before, but they mailed us a whole stack of posters after we linked them on Slashdot and said that this big thank you. It's like, you saved our company. We were going to go under. Here's some free posters.
Wow.
And that was like
Awesome.
in like 98, I think. So that was like that was one of the first times like where Slashdot like did a thing that impacted, like in a real way, impacted somebody else besides, goofing around on the internet.
To this day, their poster that says meetings because none of us are as dumb as all of us is one of my favorite things ever.
So smart.
That is so funny to me.
So smart.
None of us are as dumb as all of us.
Yeah, I love it.
So I titled the episode today Weird, because that's the buzzword in the media today.
Oh,
or
that's
all
such a
week.
good word.
Isn't that funny?
So funny.
I think creepy is just as good, but I'll
Do you
take
remember that
weird.
scene in Iron Man 3 where he's going around killing the minions and one of them's just like, dude, listen, I'm not a danger to anybody. These guys are so weird.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's literally our political system. I said it like years ago,
Our political system is pretty awesome. Since we were gone, did the assassination attempt thing happen? I can't remember when we recorded last.
I don't know. That's a good question. I think it may have just no. I think that it's we've had an assassination attempt. We've had Biden step down, Harris step up, weird,
and Deadpool,
and Deadpool v Wolverine.
Yeah, I mean all the good things.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Less
Was it
good things.
Did you like it?
Oh, it's really good. Let's talk later.
Right,
And I think Cloudstrike happened while we were gone too.
Yes.
Crowdstrike. Yeah, no, those guys, they're so. Oh my god! Like, so the levels of incompetence. Let's talk about this for like 1 second.
So before we get into this, has someone done an autopsy of the whole thing yet?
So they posted a postmortem, and then Microsoft posted a postmortem
of their postmortem
the elements of the operating system they were using, and it has so much shade in it.
Yeah,
do you know how to read those things? It's just like, so you might have heard about this incident where a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yep.
It's if you know and you read it, you're like,
ooh,
wow. And like the whole blog post is like, we told you this would happen if we give people access to Ring 0, and it happened. I can't believe they didn't do X, Y, and Z. And they're like, we could probably do this or do this. And then they're like, if the EU lets us, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm back away slowly from this post.
It is.
Oh my.
It is bizarre how much we hear this with like EU regulations, like this one, and then also like we're hearing that with like the App Store stories.
Yeah.
Like, we can't do this because of EU. Like, it's really weird how technology has become so intertwined with regulations.
Well, and there is, of course, some truth to the idea that the mandate to Microsoft was essentially that they had to give the same interfaces to competing efforts as they gave to their own internal efforts. So Windows Security Defender can't use special interfaces into the Windows operating system that a CrowdStrike couldn't use.
Sure.
Right. So what this means is they kind of have to wrap even those interfaces in a CrowdStrike proof kernel access driver, and the thing is, if Security Defender is running in Ring 0, which it kind of has to, that means their thing has to run ring 0.
This is really hurting my requests to get access to ring -1. I have a problem with, because I really want to control all the virtual machines.
Well, that's ring 0.
Ring -1 is like the one above that. That like that exists. I don't know if they call it that.
So there's like supervisory rings and that kind of thing. But I think what you want is that ring that IPMI runs in, or the BIOS runs in.
If you like it, you better put a ring on me.
Before there are any rings.
Yeah.
There's Malda.
No, I
Commander
don't.
Taco.
In all fairness,
ring C for Commander Taco.
Yeah.
I can't wait until Marvel builds a whole series of movies based on this.
The Ring cinematic universe.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, but Deadpool's the only one that can see all the rings.
I haven't seen it.
In all fairness, I don't want access to high level rings, but I do continue to hold that I should be legally obligated. The internet owes me the ... TLD. I will. That can be on my gravestone, man. I am owed it.
That's where you'll get it. You won't get it anywhere else.
Yeah,
so you might as well put it on your tombstone.
There you go. Dead ...
Well, there is an argument for a TLD for archiving or for dead websites.
So, there you go. There you go.
So once you actually die and have a tombstone, it could be like commandertaco.dead.
All right.
Or something.
I like it. Well, the story that I had for Cloudstrike is it's really good news actually for everybody that was affected. Cloudstrike.
Yeah.
Did I spelled it right on the thing. I did.
Yeah, you did right in the thing. Your brain's broken.
My brain,
not your fingers.
Dude, my brain hasn't functioned properly in 20 years. The good news is for everybody that's affected, they are getting a $10 gift card.
Well, it's almost hilarious how disrespectful and idiotic they are. And the thing is, I think that maybe it's like a sex thing. Where everyone involved is like a sadist or a masochist. And they're like, how can we really stick it to them? Because that's what they're paying us for.
Well, it could end up being
and
like
leather at the office.
It would be better if this card was only usable for Crowdstrike merchandise,
like T-shirts,
services.
Yeah, for their merch store.
Go to pick up our merch. Well, that's
half
like
off a shirt.
Every time one of the credit bureaus got hacked, like you'd get like store. Oh, we're sorry, we'll give you free usage of our credit monitoring service. Like, no, you've clearly proven that your credit monitoring service shouldn't exist.
Well, so here's the Falcon content post incident review and update. I'll post it in the channel. I'll post it in general. I don't think I actually want to link to these idiots. So they're like, blah, 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 blah. Here's what it is. They wrote a parser and they have payloads that go to the parser, right? It happens before a lot of the protection mechanisms in Windows even load, so it can find that kind of malware. And so the parser was never adequately tested for bad payloads, which is absolutely
insane,
unacceptable. Then they had payloads and they're like, well, our payloads, we usually test them and I don't know how this one got out. And like the rumors were they were going to try to blame an intern or something, or they were going to try to blame their testing provider software, which I guess they licensed. And none of it went over. People are like, no, this is on you. You had a responsibility to properly fuzz and test your parser.
Yeah.
And you had a responsibility to smoke test any new update. You just didn't do it.
You didn't.
And honestly, putting in the right processes is going to take 6 to 12 months. And this is in a product, realm where new malware threats are coming out every day.
Oh yeah.
So what are you going to do?
Turn off all of the Windows computers.
CrowdStrike is basically like, well, our customers are sexually excited by our incompetence. So we're probably going to keep doing this.
Weird.
They're like,
everything's cool.
It's who we are.
Well, okay, if they need to mount a legal defense because there's going to be billions of dollars in lawsuits coming out of this,
should probably own CrowdStrike at this point,
right? Yeah, Delta was down for like 5 days. They couldn't fly normal.
There was one day where they lost something like 7,600 flights.
Yeah.
And then it took them like 3 days to recover from
this is billions and billions of dollars. This is an insane amount.
I was getting emails in London like, are you going to make it? It looks like America broke down.
I mean, the question is, and I don't think I have anything about the Intel oxidation thing.
Yeah, I can talk about that. But,
Sure, but I just was gonna say the I don't know which is going to be a bigger impact. This is probably bigger like globally, but this, if Intel has to replace all of those chips, that's billions of dollars.
Let's get into it. So Intel has worked with the various motherboard partners to basically. So what's happening is the Intel chips are requesting too much voltage for a given core, right? And so the fix is to tell the motherboard, don't give it to him. You know, it's sort of like a breathalyzer for a DUI.
But
case.
the fix isn't out yet, and the fix won't be out for like a couple weeks.
It should be out actually pretty soon.
They were saying mid-August.
A couple weeks since they announced it.
So mid-August,
early September. You know, in the meantime, you know, don't overclock. Keep an eye on it, and if you have a chip that's bad, I would anticipate they're going to do an RMA cycle.
But this isn't even an overclocking situation. This is literally running.
I know, Rob.
All right. I'm saying this is all bullshit. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you know, there was a Jay's 2 cents video where he's like, go into your BIOS, set the settings so it can't provide more voltage, you know, and then you know, wait for the BIOS update. And he's not wrong. So in our case, if the places where we were getting caught is when we would redeploy a new version of the game, either in dev, prod, or staging, and then it would end up on a core that was asking for too much voltage. Right. And then we would have a hard stop. Right. We never actually got to the point of smoke. At least I don't think so.
But you probably have a large number of dead cores scattered now.
No, I think that actually. So I've always been really conservative in how I do our BIOSes. So we weren't even running Expo or the advanced memory speeds. So there's really not an opportunity in our case. So yes, we could get into a state where it's asking for more power and not getting it. And also, it's not that I cheaped out. It's just that I specifically provisioned only enough power to those machines to cover the NVMe, the chip, the motherboard, and the network interface.
Sure.
Like, they're like seriously like 500 watt power supplies because A, they're cheap as shit, and B, they just won't give you more power, you know. And these machines don't have video cards, they don't have anything else taking it. So if it actually went above, it's rated to whatever 275 or 295 watts, the power supply is like, yeah, nope, sorry, you know,
hard pass.
And so that's what it would crash, right? In our case, so my cheapness probably saved a couple of cores. Nice. Anyway, so but what it is if you then literally rebooted the machine, you were likely to get a different mix of cores for the executables.
Sure.
And literally since the last reboot, we haven't had a single problem because we're not sitting on a bad core. So I'm happy to wait for BIOS.
Right? But everybody this is the 1300s and the 1400s. So there's people that have been running this chip for a year and a half. So my sympathies to every admin.
I worry about the machine I'm using right here because this is a 13900, but so far so good. And this has got a fat power supply. So
I only have one Intel 1300 Gen CPU in my house, but it's like a laptop variant. It's on a mini server, and I think it's capped at 65 watts, and it definitely doesn't have fast RAM in it. So I think it's gonna be fine. But I'm all AMD, baby.
You're all AMD. I have to tell you, I built an AMD server to swap in, and it's been running a tick. It's a really nice machine.
Yeah,
it's a 1U thing with those kind of loud fans, but it's really cool.
I'm running this one on a 7800 X3D. That's what's streaming this right now, and it's a baller box, man. I don't need more. Yeah. But I tell you, when the 9900s are come out, I'm gonna upgrade. I always do. Like a sucker. Well, okay. If Intel or CrowdStrike needs a lawyer, a South Carolina man has figured out the hack. You just use AI to do your filings. That's fine, right?
Posing as a lawyer and not being a lawyer is not a very good idea. It's like that guy in it was Kenya or Nigeria or something who was doing it. It's like, no.
Yeah, the law community takes a dim view on that.
He's like, don't I look like a lawyer though? Using his father's name.
Yeah.
What? I am not Bob Smith Junior. I'm Bob Smith, dad. I'm dad.
It's, I mean, I understand why they use that as the headline.
Yeah.
I have to assume most lawyers use that for their filings. I would be very shocked.
No.
If there
There's a
weren't
lot
of
of
lawyers to do it.
There's a lot of really good software out there.
For sure.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it, but a friend of mine, she's a lawyer, and she's like, "Oh my god, I love this thing. It's so great."
Yeah.
Well,
this is the best use for that too. All factual stuff.
But what she does is she'll use the AI tools, then she'll do the lawyering, where she'll check the cited cases, see if there's anything else to unlock from. I mean, she's a very good lawyer.
It's the same thing as like prompt programming. You know, you got to work with it.
It's like what I've been doing with ChatGPT. It's like, you know, and honestly, I've been more and more trying to tweak ChatGPT instead of fixing that last 10%. I really only want to fix like 4%, you know?
Totally.
So it's been kind of great. So,
Rob, you shared the story that the electric savings story. I didn't read it. What was the deal there?
Basically, so they're thinking about mandating more fuel, more energy efficiency in Louisiana. So the Louisiana utility services are like, okay, if you do that, we're going to charge people more money because we'll lose money. So they're going to charge people who are more efficient the same extra rates to make up for the money they lost. You know, that's how that should work.
Yeah, that makes no sense. It's funny too, because like, so on one side, the deal for a long time with a lot of the public utility commissions in the United States is they would allocate money to build capital intensive projects, nuclear power plants, you know, big dams, that kind of thing. And then that would be reflected in your power bill, you know, this capital expenditure. And then over time, it was just proportional, like it'd be a 10% of your bill or something. And now they're like, well, that 10% isn't there anymore. How are we going to pay for a nuclear power plant, you know, bill? And so they're like, well, people are still using electricity. We're all still in it together, you know.
Yep. These cables are underground.
Yeah. Or the grid ties are really expensive. So there's a part of me, I'm like, I get it. But at the same time, a lot of these things became, you know, power company, you know, kleptocracies. You know, like there's no reason for Pacific Gas and Electric to be a private company. In fact, it's pretty offensive that it is. You know, it was the privatization of public goods.
It's weird.
And now they're like, well, we continue to deserve to be able to steal from the people. It's like, yeah, but do you?
It's just rent,
the
man.
Louisiana Public Service Commission.
And I would be perfectly fine if they want to, you know, jack up the price for some bullshit reasons, like burying cable. I would pay extra if they would just bury our freaking cables out here.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, we lost power again here last night.
Wow.
And there was, I mean, it was raining and a little windy.
It was a sprinkle.
Yeah.
Utilities, man, they're doing great. Not as good as the airlines.
Here's the thing. Are they going to pay you to buy a generator? Are they going to pay you to have a battery to make up for their failings in their infrastructure? No.
Well, but they are going to charge you for having a generator because they need that income, that sweet income in order to maintain the infrastructure for everyone.
Yeah.
So everything's fine. Rob, I also didn't read the exploding soda can story.
I didn't post it.
Oh, I posted that one. So what it is Southwest. I guess maybe there was an injury. Is that what they said? Let me bring it up here. Basically, Southwest does not refrigerate its drinks before bringing them aboard, and so nearly 24 crew members are reported to have been injured by exploding soda cans during flights. Yeah. So basically, they're not refrigerated. They bring them into the plane, and I guess they try to like quick freeze them or something. It's not clear how people get injured. Let me just say that might be a little dramatic. But yeah, they've had this problem where they don't refrigerate outside the plane to increase turnaround time, and yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I know there's tons of rules about mailing liquids, particularly carbonated ones.
Yeah, you know.
Because of how expensive it was to ship Manimal when we were sending some of them.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah. People. You know, it was like twice what a can costs just to mail it. you know.
Yeah.
So they got a lot of regulations, and evidently
For
because
good
people
reason.
are hurting themselves with soda cans. Like
Yep.
Yeah.
they don't know to open the can to get the liquid. They're just trying to imbibe the whole thing. I'm not sure exactly how you get injured by soda cans.
They're
but
trying to do the thing, the frat boy thing where you bite the side of the can.
yeah, yeah.
They're trying to make a bowl out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a good one here. The Ferrari executive. I posted.
I didn't see that one.
It's silly. But the thing. This one is just he gets called by a deepfake. And the article is saying how the deepfake is really convincing. And they're trying to get him to disclose money or disclose information to let them withdraw money from the. We've seen stories like this before. He got suspicious and he asked them what book he's talking to the pretend CEO. What book did you recommend to me the other day? And since the AI didn't know, it immediately hung up. But it's funny that like that's where it's going to have to go now. You're not going to be able to trust anybody anymore. So it's going to have to be like asking code phrases. We live in a weird
I've been
world.
messing around a little bit more with voice AI.
Yeah.
And it's, you know,
It's good.
It's pretty cool.
It's not bad.
It's
Not
sick.
bad for what you can get on the cheap. I
Yeah.
bet if you really spend some bucks and dial in, you could get something very convincing.
It's truly terrifying. And like in the short term, I worry about it because it's already plenty good enough to confuse an elder. But like we've seen cases where this is getting businesses to lose, real money.
It's only really missing sort of natural pauses in conversation. But a lot of the free ones even that you get now, they have settings where you can set sort of randomization to the speaker and it will put in pauses. It will put in ums.
Yeah.
Chuckles.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. It's going to be really scary.
How do we know that Rob is real?
Well, that's the real question I was going to say is at some point, one of us,
I know which Rob I'm talking about.
One of us should try to do an episode using a deep face voice. Like, or maybe
I thought about doing this. I have the deep fake video stuff, so I could be like Tom Cruise or whatever. It doesn't look great yet, even on my 3090. So.
But Rob could get away with it because he's usually relatively backlit.
I'm in the dark room.
Well, because Boeing paid for your lighting.
The dark room.
Yeah. Also, I thought it was pretty cheap that we decided to call me Rob since there was already a Rob. I mean, we should have called me at least something
Zen.
different.
Yeah.
Zen.
Like to prove I'm not a construct.
All right. What do you want to be called?
I don't know. It's too late, man.
Too late now? All
Peter?
right.
You want to be a Peter or a Joe or a William?
No, I thought Jason was kind of a cool name when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like the Argonauts?
No, like
Sure.
The killer.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, mostly the killer.
Hey, let's watch videos of a orca whale try to sink a boat.
That's a great idea.
Well, that's a humpback whale.
Oh, is it?
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah,
Hit
yeah.
play. Wait for it. Wait for it.
Come on, I'm gonna screenshot it. Oh yeah.
Whoomph. There it is.
Whoop, there it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then two idiots talking.
I think
As
that's
opposed to
humpback
three
whale.
idiots talking.
Can't quite get a good look at it.
Yeah. What is motor doping?
So this is an Olympic problem that they're
Hidden
trying to
motors?
hide motors
Oh,
inside
nice.
of bikes for long range racing. And like again, these are it's really fun. I mean, it's awful, but it's fun. Like the deepfake voices, the deepfake videos. These were science fiction things 20 years ago, and now they're real. And this is another one. Like this is a tiny, tiny motor that maybe adds a few percent to your performance.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
Especially at, that level.
Yeah.
That level, the difference is minuscule.
Yeah. Pretty cool. All right. We've got, Rob and Chris and I are concerned about this now. Rob, you're
Wait,
fine.
They actually found one though.
Oh yeah, they did. It's a real
bike
thing.
bearing the name of a local favorite. Closer inspection revealed the motor and battery lodged within the hollow frame.
Yep. This isn't a hypothetical. So they're like
Ooh.
X-raying the
Push button,
frames
switch
and
under the
stuff.
handlebars. Here's our criminal.
You want to
element.
We can't see you.
Here's our criminal element.
Oh, look at that guy.
Look at that.
Oh, that's a different
guy.
bike.
Oh,
It's like, dude, I want to see the cool bike. I don't want to see the lame old bike.
right.
Yeah.
I want to see the cheater bike.
The cheater bike. I really kind of want an electric bike just for funsies. I think they'd be fun, but I've never gotten around to getting one.
Don't you have one, Chris?
I did. I actually gave it away at the local auction and rummage sale here on the island. So let me tell you the problem with it. One, I don't drive it very much, so it feels weird owning something that's just, gathering dust. And two, I built it in California where there's not a lot of rain, and it has like friction brakes.
Oh,
and it can go 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna work.
So I had a couple of moments where I'm like, I'm not stopping. This is tough. And it really needs disc brakes. And so that means replacing the entire frame. And I'm like, it's easier just to give this away.
Safe.
So yeah, because it was one of those kits you buy from Luna-Cycle in California who get the Bafeng motors, and you do it all up, and as a first e-bike, it was fine. I rode it for like a year and a half back and forth to work in California, but I was,
We've
it's not the right long-term bike for the Pacific Northwest. Let me just say
we
that.
have a very good friend who got hit by a car while riding his electric bike around
Which one?
town. We'll tell you offline. But it was really bad.
Yeah. No. Well,
I'm
so the thing is,
scared
there's
about
so
this.
many bikes, and people are so bad at riding them. Like barely wearing helmets. They don't realize they're now running something that can't go 8 miles an hour. It can go 30 or 25. And it's like, dude, this is a real machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was like 1 mile closer to something useful, I would definitely have one. But for me, I'm like,
yeah, I mean, they're really fun.
I'm 4 miles away from anything. And that's just far enough that even on an e-bike, I'm just like, that's just not going to cut it for me.
Yeah.
Plus the road outside of my neighborhood, people don't care for bikers on that road.
Yeah. As you might suspect, the roads out here are not biker friendly.
No.
I think they want to hit you, right? Because they're like, hey, liberal,
Points.
riding a bicycle,
right?
Or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. They're all weird though. They want to kill the bikers. So the ESA has a report, guys. Look out for debris. I know.
Oh no!
Again.
Debris.
Yeah,
Tell me this is about us at this point.
I'm just hoping some of it hits me and brings me back to Earth.
One moment, please. This is a reminder to the few listeners who are just trying out Geeks in Space for the first time. We pretend we're in the Earth orbit. It's all BS.
It's our premise. We're not really in space.
We're not really in space.
And for our podcast listeners, I'm not really on Tatooine.
Tom. Hi, Tom.
We have like 100 podcast listeners. It's weird.
Yeah, but those metrics are really flawed.
I'm a little skeptical. I'm a little skeptical.
And how many of them make it this far in?
Zero.
One hand,
Yeah. Anyway, there's the regular story about orbital debris has increased, which there was another explosion not that long ago, like just a few weweeks ago, right? They had another something.
We had that one solar flare, and that knocked out some satellites, and
but no, there was
another anti-satellite demonstration.
I don't think they've disclosed what happened yet. This is a few weeks ago. They had everybody in the space station had to hide.
I thought that was a flare.
No, I thought that was a debris event because something happened to a satellite.
That's right. I did hear about that.
It is weird that we don't talk about this very much, but all of the major superpowers. We do.
Space.
Yeah. Well, it's an active concern to us. If the Russians try to take us down, we're not going to be able to defend ourselves.
Yeah, this was a Russian satellite that broke up in space.
Right. So
yeah.
They might try to shoot us. I mean, we're putting out the word. We're telling you who's weird.
The goal, by the way, is to reach a kind of mutually assured destruction. So when the Chinese deploy a satellite to go alongside one of our satellites to sort of hang out and try to do signal intercept, we do the same thing to one of theirs, right? And
again, the science fiction that we covered in the early years of Slashdot is the actual active real concerns today.
Yeah, I very much worry about a Kessler syndrome event. There's so many things in orbit right now, and there's so much junk in orbit. Here, let me bring up the space debris map. It's actually kind of amazing.
Yeah, there's so much stuff up there. That's why I usually keep myself orbiting a little higher. It's a little thinner if you get up a little bit higher.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's more fuel. It's a problem for me. It's an expense that I take on in the name of safety.
Here we go. Here's the Astro map.
We're not. There you go. Oh, yeah. Oh, you got the real-time one?
Yeah. Well, real-time strong.
Yeah, there you go. You got a 3090, but...
Yeah.
And how small of objects are this?
What's that?
How small of an object is this one tracking?
I think this is all of them.
Everything?
Yeah.
Because they track everything down to even like just a few ounces.
Showed debris rocket bodies. That's the one.
Rocket bodies. That sounds like something I want to watch. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, because you can see some things in cislunar and solar space, and
maybe we should go geosynchronous just to have a little bit more security for us.
Geo is interesting. Let me see if I can do that. Orbit regime. Let's go with Geo.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that's
still a lot of stuff up there.
I mean, it's a lot, but those are in theory stable orbits.
And they're spaced out a little more.
Low Earth orbits where all the fun happens.
Yeah. I mean, you're like basically playing Pac-Man just trying to dodge SpaceX. All the Starlink.
Yeah, it's true. Well, we told them. They didn't listen.
No, they're too busy saying things like, oh, let's ruin all astrophotography until the end of history.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Hey, Google signed a deal with Reddit
Another one?
Well, this is the backstory to the story. They signed a search engine deal with Reddit so that they can train up their AI using the Reddit comments. Already the most authoritative source of information on the internet outside of Quora and Tumblr, and they now, because of the deal, apparently the other major search engines aren't allowed to crawl Reddit anymore. So like Bing and all that, like, don't have Reddit results anymore. So the internet's doing great, guys.
So so this is going to one of two ways. Google is going to get a letter from the European Union saying they can't do this kind of antitrust action. Well, actually, this is all going to happen. Two, the other search engines are going to be like, we don't care. And they're going to
they'll start ignoring robots text.
Or they'll just sit inside their browsers and collect the information, and send it back. And I have to tell you that it would be a righteous thing to do.
Yeah, this is unethical. It's wrong.
It's just wrong. It's wrong on a lot of levels, and it really stretches the boundaries of what copyright is. So
especially when it's user created content. I get it. You have the legal right, maybe, that you own and host this, but this is also a public good.
Well, the other thing that Microsoft could very readily just say, well, Google, it was nice having you crawl GitHub, wasn't it?
That's true. That's true.
It's like, if you think the terms of service are this powerful, well, I got news for you.
I gotta say,
this is just an area that,
if nothing less, it's interesting.
Oh no, it's great. There's no losers in this one.
Yeah, no, the losers are the internet, but we lost 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Once they closed Google Reader, that was the end.
Yeah. I tried to save it. I tried.
I've made the case. I have a whole thing. Like, I think that was the end. I think that was game over. I think that was the day the internet died.
I mean, you're not wrong.
You've heard
it all corresponded.
You've heard my whole thing on that. I think that was what forced journalists onto Tumblr or into Twitter. I
don't know if that's true, but you're not wrong. It all sort of corresponded in time.
All right. We have yet another exciting story about fishermen cheating.
That's like that's
one of our favorite sweet spots.
Yeah. That
I saw this one.
Isn't that great?
I think I posted this one. This one's great.
fisherman fined for hiding a salmon on his sleeve, and they got a picture of just like dude walking with a big old fish hanging out.
I wonder if that's like a stock photo that they picked, or
I think that's real.
You know?
Is
this the guy though?
I think that's it.
It is. I mean, it's marked natural resources.
That's fantastic. Oh, this is just my pocket salmon.
Yep. It's a snack.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Is that a salmon sticking out of your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
No.
It sounds like you're gonna catfish me.
Oh,
sorry.
Nope.
Oh, there it is.
Yep. Isn't that great?
And he's like, well, I was trying to put it back, but unfortunately, I couldn't get the hook out right. Sure.
Was there a good prize for this one? Because that's the thing that I always think is weird about these.
I think he was just trying to poach. He wasn't. Yeah, you have to remember the salmon stocks in the UK, at least, they're in really weird shape right now. You know, so a lot of the salmon stocks are going through a rest year. Let's just say.
Yeah, and you know that story isn't. I mean, he couldn't get the hook out. Fish are made of goo.
Yeah, they're inside. Yeah. There's nothing in there.
They're super gooey. Yeah.
Yeah, you just rip the hook out and it's fine.
Right.
Put it back in the water.
Right. All right.
I would love like a meme that's like JQs, you know, from this guy here.
We're at 30 minutes. Is there any stories because we were gone for 2 weeks, so we've got a whole bunch more. Do you want to is there any one?
We can go another 10 minutes or so.
Well, the one that I wanted to just mention, which I think is really funny, is the Craig Wright one. He was finally convicted of not being, or proven to not be the creator of Bitcoin, despite the like years of like claiming that he invented Bitcoin and never being able to prove it. The courts mandated that he pin a tweet saying he did not invent Bitcoin. Like what a
good times.
What a weird story, man.
Well, what a weird guy. They're so old and weird, these guys.
old and weird, man.
It's like that guy who was saying that he created email even though he didn't, and he would sue anyone who said otherwise. Like, dude,
I'm suing anybody who tries to take the .tld.
Yeah, or .dead.
Yeah, or .dead. That story kills me. Another one that was funny in the past was that Google's Gemini Pro just fails when you try to get it to generate commands that use the YouTube crawler.
That's a YouTube downloader.
Yeah, the YouTube downloader. Bloop, nope, can't do that. Sorry. Other programs fine, but so like there was a story kind of related to this one that came out a few days ago about how Twitter had like a secret blacklist. And I don't know if that ended up being proven a hoax or not. So if I might be routing misinformation for that, I apologize. But the story was like a list of Twitter handles and a list of words that were whitelisted for them.
Well, you know, since the Harris and Biden thing, you know, they've been accused of limiting followers for Harris.
Harris HQ was, and then just today there was.
And the thing is, on one side, I'm like, it's probably they're incompetent.
Well, that's the thing.
You know,
never
like
attribute to malice.
Like
never attribute to malice what you can attribute to stupidity. Because they had the white men for Harris account got blocked.
White dudes for Harris,
yeah, and then who was Musk tweeted like a deepfaked video of like Harris just saying things, like all of this stuff. Like we live in truly weird times. At least when Facebook was manipulating the algorithm in order to maximize profits during previous elections, they were doing it just to maximize profit. I don't think that they were necessarily doing it to appease one political party or not. They were just doing it for cash.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to cost a lot of money to replace us all
with the AIs.
And honestly, the only times I really go to X are when I link to it in the show, or
go to where?
Somebody's to Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Twitter, Twizzler.
I'll also accept Jitter.
Yeah, that's your favorite.
That's my favorite. Go to the Jitter. I actually load up the Jitter once or twice a day, but that's because there's like 5 people that I like that are not on Mastodon.
You know, I've talked about this before. I don't need to repeat myself.
Yeah,
fuck it. It's just Twitter. Who cares? You know?
So somebody's buying.
So old and weird.
They're so old and weird. Kirk's original phaser is going to go to auction. Yeah, that's cool. None of us are going to be able to afford it.
Is that part of the prop store auction?
I think so.
Coming up. Yeah, they have some really neat stuff.
They always do. And then there was the Captain America Brave New World trailer that has Red Hulk shown up, and Harrison Ford is now finally confirming that he is Red Hulk. So
God, and there was the whole thing with Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. Was that
that's
just them
fun.
trolling us?
That's fun.
Is that trolling?
That's fun.
No, I think that's real.
That is real.
I saw the video where he revealed on stage.
Yep. The
This
word
seems
is
like a bad idea.
You know, I got no problems with that. I think it's a good plan.
He's a great actor. Don't get me wrong, but
It doesn't seem very Dr. Doomish to me, but
it seems go out on top. You know, it's okay to go out on top.
I think this is a fun.
Maybe come back in flashbacks.
I think this is a fun thing to do, and I'm all in. Especially so, we haven't talked about Deadpool, but I'll just go back. The things that they do in the Deadpool movie, like they can do whatever they want now, and that's great. Like let actors play multiple roles. That's fun. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah, you can play Mr. Darcy, the guy from Succession, and the TVA Authority.
That's Paradox. Right. Paradox. Although I got to tell you, man, that accent, I don't know what his real accent is, but I did not care for his accent in Deadpool.
Oh, I don't know what his accent was in Deadpool. He has a normal sort of posh British accent.
Oh, does he? This is his accent to me, his accent in Deadpool was just incredibly jarring because I only know his voice from Succession.
Oh, well, you know he was Hugh Darcy, right? I mean,
I don't know who Hugh Darcy is.
He's a very British person.
I don't know who Hugh Darcy is. Is that a Jane Austen thing?
A Jane Austen character, yeah.
I don't know.
Like the Notebook before Ryan Gosling existed.
Sure, but like there's a million of those.
Yeah. Sure. So I mean, it's Britain. They always just redo these things.
Like I feel there's a factory in Britain that's just manufacturing befuddled, charming British men to play Mr. Darcy's. So I can't really keep trying. Like there's a Darcy factory.
The thing. If they're gonna have, let's roll back to Marvel.
All right.
If they're gonna have, Red Hulk, and they're gonna have Dr. Doom, that means they have to have a Fantastic Four.
Oh, they do. That's coming out next summer. Pedro Pascal is Reed Richards.
That's awful.
No, it's great.
It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
I know you are racist against stretchy men.
I am.
You hate stretchy men.
Yeah, I guess I'm an anti-stretch bigot.
You're a stretchist.
Stretchist.
No, I'm a anti-stretchist. So it'd be like a stabilityist.
You like bones, is what you're saying. You're pro-skeleton.
I'm pro not stretching your bones. As somebody who's had 2 shoulders repaired and had a broken rib.
That's true.
I keep my bones together. All right?
No, you don't. That's the thing. If you were stretchy.
When I don't, I regret it.
Yeah.
Think of all the kids who are going to watch Mr. Fantastic, go out there and try to stretch their bones and break their bones. Think of the children.
And I'm here to tell you, breaking your bones isn't as fun as it looks on TV.
It's so unfun. In fact, it's the other thing. It's not fun.
Sometimes it can be dire.
I've never broken a bone. You guys have broken so many.
I've only broken like 3. Come on, man.
So many.
And maybe 4, but whatever.
Yeah, I've only broken
technically the Bankart process isn't a bone. It's a cartilaginous ridge that your bone sits against.
Okay.
And to fix it, they have to drive basically drywall anchors into your socket. So come on.
And I've only broken
If anything,
5
I'm
bones.
a cyborg.
Only 5.
Only 5.
8 broken bones between the two of you.
2 of them were my vertebrae.
Can I tell you the worst thing is that pop noise I can make with my right rib. Boy, it hurts.
I bet.
If I turn my neck correctly, it sounds like a ratchet chair.
No, cool.
Nice. Yeah.
Or isn't there like a horror movie bad guy that does the echolocation?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Okay, well, Deadpool Wolverine, it's great. It's exactly what you think it's going to be. It's some fun cameos, not a lot of plot. A real love letter to the 15, 16 different Fox X-Men movies that you may of varying qualities.
A lot of them I really liked.
Yeah. And this movie it has fun with the ones you liked, and it has just as much fun with the ones you didn't. It's quite charming.
I'm not going to get like cameo bored, the way.
So okay, this is what I'll say.
That one movie.
You remember in the middle of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, where they go to the universe and there's 4 like cameos there, and it's stupid.
It's really stupid.
It's really stupid. This is, imagine that sequence, but that's like the middle third of the movie, and all of the characters that are there for the most part work because they're there for purpose and not just to be immediately killed, like as in a gratuitous thing. I really enjoyed it, but it ain't a plot heavy movie. The gore is great. The cameos are great. Deadpool is just funny. It's just funny. Go and laugh and have fun and don't overthink it.
I would like to do that.
The other one that I wanted to recommend is Thelma. Thelma is fantastic. Thelma is a 93-year-old woman who gets scammed in by a call center scam, and then has to go back and get her money. That looks great. It's a 93-year-old woman, but they like score the sorts of struggles that old people have as if they're doing like Mission Impossible level stunts. It's like you have to walk down a really narrow hallway and then step over something really low on the floor, but you have to like climb over. But they have the score will be pounding like there's a Tom Cruise level stunt occurring. It's so charming. Everybody in it is funny. It's sweet. It doesn't pander. It's not mean. It doesn't like mock the elderly. It takes them seriously. It's one of the most just charming and fun things that I've seen recently, and it gets top marks.
Pretty cool.
The Boys finished. Have we seen The Boys?
I did not watch the last episode, so we will not be discussing. Have you gotten into it, Zen?
I have not watched any of it. I was waiting for it to end, and then I'm just going to watch it all at once.
You're going to binge. It's a lot of blood.
That's a good plan. That's a good plan.
Part of it is a lot of these, it's hard to remember what happened the season before you stretch out.
Like your brain is full now. My advantage with this is that my wife has like an incredibly impressive memory when it comes to remembering these plot lines. I think the problem for me is that I watch about 10 times more television and movies than she does. So like all of that stuff just falls off the back end of the first in, first out queue.
I haven't watched any House of Dragons either this year.
I've watched half of it. But...
So I have Rob's problem with House of Dragons. I'm like, I really need the recap. Can you give me the recap, please?
Yeah, exactly.
But I need like an hour of recap because there's so many plot lines.
Yeah.
But I watched like the first 3 or 4 episodes of House of the Dragon.
All the characters look the same to me. I don't have your face blindness or anything, but I'm like, which house? Which brother?
Targaryen is this?
God damn! Can you give me like a genealogy that's on the right side of the screen?
That's what I want. I want.
Dude, come on! Like, I don't know if you ever watch Amazon Prime. They have this X-ray feature. It's so good, man.
I want them. Here's my bag.
I'm so addicted to the X-ray feature on Amazon.
Here is
Prime.
what I want for my bag, okay?
Yeah.
When 2 characters are having a conversation about a third character who's not present, I want a thumbnail to pop up in the corner with their name under it.
It's a pop-up video version of
I'm so angry about Jerry. Well, we haven't seen Jerry in 6 episodes. I don't remember which one is Jerry.
Or Jerry with the G.
Pop up a little
Jerry of House Targaryen, Stark,
a little thumbnail
like Tully or Jerry, the fucking lute player played by Ed Sheeran in seasons 8 of Game of Thrones. Come on.
And then you find out his real name was Gary Targaryen the whole time.
And they replaced him mid-season with a new actor. It's like, oh my God, stop.
Well, you have to watch it with subtitles. You have to watch it with subtitles just to keep track of who they're talking about. But like, I just want a thumbnail of their picture. I'll remember it if you just, but they're talking about like 5 different people and there's 12 different people in the cast. And some of these people we haven't seen in 3 episodes. And some of these people, since we haven't seen them in 3 episodes, I haven't seen them in 6 months. And in the intervening 6 months, I've watched 12 different series.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, Magnum. They changed the actors for both of the young ladies, which was really confusing but they were both really good actors. One of the young actors just got recast in something good too.
No, one of the original young actors was Lady Deadpool or whatever in your movie you just watched. Emma Corrin. Emma
Corrin. No, she's. All right, I won't spoil it.
Yeah.
Just watch the movie. I won't spoil it. I want to say so many things. Both of you watch Deadpool, so we can.
I will go do that.
All right, we're at 45 minutes. We should say goodbye to the internet. Fare thee well, Chris DeBona.
Yeah, thank you.
Goodbye to you also, Rob Roseboom.
Goodbye, internet.
It was nice to see you guys. It's been a couple weeks.
Good to see you too.
And it was nice to see everybody in the channel too. That was episode 848 of Geeks in Space. I was Rob Commander Takamalda, and maybe we'll see you in less than 2 weeks next time. Bye-bye.